Good evening, everybody. Welcome to PatFacts, November 2nd edition. Hard to believe November's here already. Time sure is flying. And speaking of time, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. This weekend, time falls back. We spring ahead, we fall back. It was always a tricky one to figure out and remember, but we spring ahead, we fall back. So the time goes back this Sunday. Sunday night. Hey, David, welcome in. Good to see you. Sunday night, our time goes ahead or goes back, 1 hour. So we're all going to gain an hour potentially of sleep. But we're going to talk about a few ways to prepare for the time change and to adjust to it so it doesn't have a huge effect on you, because it does affect us. It's only an hour, but it does take us a few days to adapt to that change internally. So we want to do as much as we can to make sure we're assisting that as best we can. And again, preparing for it and doing what we can beforehand to again make sure that it's really just what it is, another day. The time's just changing a little bit. So we're going to go through a few tips to help you prepare for what's coming up and just to adjust to that time change that you're going through. If you're not going through the time change, I know some places don't. This can also be used, and even those of us going through the time change this week, some of these tips can also be used for traveling when you're changing time zones to travel, which again will come up soon for a lot of us with the holidays coming up. And just a reminder, our holiday guide is available. A few of you last week get a little sneak peek into it on some of the topics. I'll be doing kind of a post for it later tonight or tomorrow to get it out and really pushing it out the next few days so people can have a free resource to give you some tips to handle some of the stressors and the demands that the holidays place on us while keeping us in our routines, which is what we want. And a lot of us, if the holidays get too hectic, the first thing to go is our routine, especially our self-care routine. And we want to make sure that isn't the case. So we're going to, again, the holiday guide is a resource for that to help you stay on track and make the most of your holidays, enjoy them, but also, again, stay on track and keep progressing towards that goal. Pep, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great day. Tonight, hey, Nani, welcome in. Tonight, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about a few tips to help us get ready for the time changes coming up this weekend, going back 1 hour. So the first tip that we like to share is don't think of what the time was, focus on what the time is. So after Sunday, you'll wake up, you'll have gained an hour of sleep. We'll lose a little daylight maybe, but you'll have potentially, and we'll talk about this more in a bit, but potentially an extra hour of sleep that night. But as you go through the day, it's always the habit of, usually it's 5, but now it's 4. So what am I doing? Trying to get back into, again, a routine, a system. What do I do? Do I eat earlier? Do I push things back a little bit? But the big key is to just focus on what time it is. If we're always trying to think about what time it was, that kind of confuses ourselves and our systems, so that it's trickier to know, maybe, should I be eating now? Should I feel hungry? Should I be doing my workouts? What should I be looking towards? So if we can just focus on what time it is, again, we just carry on like it's another day. And that's what we want this to be, another day where the time just happened to be different while you were sleeping. So really, and the way most devices are now, they set themselves. So really, you don't even notice it. It just sort of happens over the evening over the night while you're asleep. So don't worry about what time it is or was. What time is it? Focus on the now, the present. And again, getting used to that will get your body and your mind just used to that time. And hopefully you won't feel as maybe sluggish when things are off by an hour, so to speak, based on when they usually are. Internally, again, just focus on the time and get back into that. So that's our first tip. And again, I found that very helpful the last time I went overseas. I just focused on what time it was. I didn't really try to think about what time it was back home unless I was calling or FaceTiming people. But for the most part, I just tried to be in the moment of where I was. And then it just felt a little more like a normal day. It didn't feel like I had lost a day to travel, or I'm not ahead of day based on where I was it was a little easier that way. So again, so these tips will work for traveling time zones as well. But just focus on the now. Be present, be mindful, and enjoy the time that it is and what's going on. It's going to be a great weekend, at least here in Ontario. I think it is in most places. So enjoy it. Make it just a normal Sunday, whatever that happens to be for you. So first tip is again, just think of what time it is, not what time was it yesterday, because we just confuse ourselves and try to think back and forth. And for some of us, the math is tricky, even though it's just an hour. There's a lot of struggles there. So just be mindful, be present in the moment, and that'll just help you more quickly adapt to the time change. The second tip that we have is routines. Stay in your routine. Like we just said, staying in the present, keep those routines as they are. It might be a little tricky. Again, if you've maybe gained an hour's sleep or had a different sleep schedule than usual because of the time change, or again, things seem a little off, it could be tricky to stay in your routine, but do your best. If you're feeling sluggish or really tired or something, then again, modify things if you need to, but do your best to stay in that regular routine. Again, it just keeps you on track, keeps you working towards those goals, and it just keeps things feeling normal for you, which is what we want them to be. Just a normal Sunday, getting ready to head into a new week. So the more we can do that, the easier it'll be for us to keep that in mind. So whatever your routine is, remind yourself of it if you need to. Maybe you take a few moments to fine tune it. Maybe you use a little extra time to work on some of your routines. Maybe you can use that extra hour, maybe get up a little earlier this week and brainstorm and work on where you want to go, what you want the week to be, what you want the rest of the year to be. If you've been with us, we've been chatting the last few weeks about our goals for 2023, not resolutions on January 1, but setting them now, working on our theme words for 23. We're going to talk about vision boards and systems. We've been practicing gratitude, which we'll kind of wrap up and really fine tune next week. So hopefully you're doing your daily gratitude challenge. If not, join in for the next week. Take a few moments, once a day at least. Think of the 3 things you're most grateful for and think of why they came up. Well, there's no right or wrong answer to what you're thinking of, but just try to think about why you thought of feeling gratitude towards those. What made that feeling of gratitude come up? So we can try to be more aware of our gratitude and what triggers gratitude for us. So maybe we can spend more time in those types of situations or around those type of people to do that. So this will kind of, again, tie in with that so we can make the most of this time change, work through it, get through it, not have to take too much time to adjust to it. So that, again, we can stay on track, working towards those goals. DJ Katz, welcome in. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Nice one. Bobby Brown's favorite day. You're right. Wednesday, hump day. So nice one. DJ Katz here all week. So staying on routine, including in that routine, things like hydration, getting your fluids, drinking your water throughout the day. We want to be doing that, staying in that routine. Our nutrition, we want to keep that routine up as much as we can. Again, if we were feeling a little sluggish from the time change and things going on, then there's a risk we can maybe not make as good of choices when it comes to food and snacks and what we put into our body. So the more we can stay on routine, again, the more we can work through that, and the better off we'll be, because we'll make better choices and decisions, because again, it'll feel just like a regular day for us, which is great for us to be, a great mindset for us to have. So nutrition, hydration on point. Fitness, we want to keep our fitness or physical activity or both, whatever it is you're kind of focusing on. We want to keep that routine as well. And again, these tips do apply to travel. So if you're traveling and skipping time zones, we do still want to keep our fitness routine up. That helps us, again, create normalcy, even though there's been a change in our life because of the time changing here, or again, if you're traveling somewhere and going through different time zones, we want to keep that normalcy up as much as we can, so that we can, again, just more quickly adapt to what's going on and just carry on moving forward and not feel the effects of this time difference, whether we're traveling or it's something like a seasonal time change, like we've got here this weekend. A lot of times we kind of make the time change or the effects of the time change worse by being so aware of it, by dwelling on it. If you're with me way back, what are we, like 2.5 years ago now, the first episode of PatFacts, one of the first things I said was, don't dwell on things, be alert, be aware of what was going on at the time, but don't dwell on it. Sometimes when we dwell on things, we harp on things too much. That kind of makes it worse internally, because that's what we're focused on, and our mind picks up on that, our body picks up on that, and then that kind of leads us to maybe feel more sluggish and unmotivated. And even though I gained an hour's sleep, but I feel tired, what's going on? And that all kind of can drag us back a little bit. So we want to just, again, create a normal day as best we can, stick with our routine, stick with our systems, keep moving forward, so that maybe you do feel a little off because of the time change, but it's not a huge mountain you have to climb. It's just something you can deal with and work through. And then by after a day or so, you'll feel better going forward. And again, same thing with the travel. When I went, the last time I went to overseas, I went to China. Big time change, big time difference. I was only there for 3 days, so a really crazy trip. But I made sure when I slept as much as I could on the way. When I got there, I just treated the day as what it was. I stuck to that time zone. I stayed up until bedtime normally would be, even though I had been up for quite a while. Hey, Chico, welcome in. And I just made it a normal day. I got up the next morning. I got a workout in right away, just like I would. I would have breakfast, that sort of thing, get ready for my day. And it created really a normal day for me. That night, I had a great sleep because things sort of caught up to me. But during the day, I felt great, felt refreshed, felt energized. I was able to lead some fitness sessions and do some trade show work and things, and felt great. And like I said, that evening, after a little fresh air break, I went home and crashed and had a great night's sleep. But it wasn't during the day. And after that, I felt fine. It was a really quick transition. So again, we're trying to make things as normal as we can to, again, help us stay on track. We don't want this to become an excuse of why we're slacking a little bit on our goals, whether it's going to the gym or working on personal, professional development, whatever the case may be. We don't want to use this hour time change this weekend as an excuse for that. We want to be able just to work through it, and again, carry on as if it's a regular Sunday, and then make the most of the day and the week that's ahead, and kicking off this new month that we're just 2 days into, kicking it off on the right foot, and again, ramping up into the holiday season and into the end of this year and into 2023, like we've been doing for the last few weeks now. So the next, yes, good point, Eddie. It's true. Research does find that the hour does make a huge impact on your health. I believe, I haven't looked this up, but I believe they say for every hour, it's a day or so that you take to recover, maybe even a few days to recover from that. So it will take you a couple days. The idea being, though, again, the more we sit and think about it and what's going on, then the worse it is and the harder we can feel. That's why I mentioned earlier, if you do feel off and sluggish, if you need to scale things down, maybe scale back. Hopefully by now we have, because we've talked about it, you have options in place. You have routines and systems and plan Bs and plan Cs of what you need to do. So maybe if you're working out, say 3 times a week, maybe it's twice a week this week. Maybe it's 3 times a week, but it's a little different type of workout. Maybe it's a little less intense if it needs to be. If you feel great, again, carry on as per usual. As anything else, listen to your body and know what you need. But if you are feeling a little off and a little sluggish, maybe you dial things back a little bit for these few days until you feel more like yourself, but still try to keep it as routine as possible. Then you create more consistency, you create more confidence because you're keeping up to your routine. So you think, oh yeah, good job, pat on your back for you for doing that. And then you feel good about yourself. So that helps you get back to that point, or even stay on track. So again, we're not trying to get out of that hole we dig ourselves into sometimes when these events happen to us. where, oh, the time change, I'm so tired, I can't do it, I should be working here and I'm usually done work by now, but I'm still at work and it's dark out. And then we get into a snowball of kind of negativity, and then it's 3 or 4 days and we haven't done our usual stuff, and now we're trying to get out of that hole to get back into what it was we're usually doing. So the more we can keep things regular and routine, then again, it's not so much of a hole to come out of. We can maybe have a couple days where we're trying to adjust, but we feel good about it. We work through it. We work with it rather than having it up as an obstacle in front of us. We work with time change and work through it a little bit and learn on some different modalities we can use that we know sometimes when maybe we're up all night and can't get to sleep. Maybe we have to travel for work or for holiday time. We can do that. Then we know, okay, when the time changed, I put this stuff in place and I found it helped me. Or I tried these things and it didn't really help me. So maybe I shouldn't do that this time. We're always trying to learn and develop a system for ourselves that, again, when life gives us something, we can adapt to it. We can be operationally fit. We can handle whatever it is it's put in front of us. This happens every year at this time. In the spring, we go ahead, and the fall, we go back. So we can use the time. We know it's coming. We can use the time to almost experiment a little, try some things, and see what it is that works well for us. So that, again, when maybe something comes up unexpectedly and you have to travel overseas or even travel to one of the coasts, there's time changes when we travel through Canada or North America even. So there's opportunities when this may come up, and you may not have a few weeks to or a few days to even to prepare. So, but you'll have this experience that you can draw from, and okay, I can deal with a trip overseas because I handled that 1 hour of time change like this. So now I can apply that same kind of method and system to handle this other change, this 3-hour time change I'm going through, or this 10-hour time change, whatever the case may be. So again, trying to keep things simple, try to work through and stay on our routine. If you don't have a routine, you've got a few days, it's Wednesday, maybe now is the time to start thinking of one, start planning for one. Again, looking ahead into not only November, December, but into 23 and setting those goals. And if you want, go back to a few episodes of PatFacts, and we've talked about goal setting. We've talked about setting kind of a theme word to help you stay on track. We've talked a few different modalities about getting us into 2023. I've got my holiday survival guide out now. So if you shoot me your email, I can get you on the list. Or if you go to my social medias and my link tree, it's in there. You can drop your email and I'll send it off to you. It's a free PDF. Again, kind of like this, with a few tips to help us get through the holidays. And again, stay on track, keep our positive momentum going and our good energy and just moving forward. So we're not starting from scratch on day one. But we've already got some momentum going forward. And again, this is one of those things that could bump us off our progress, this time change, trying to deal with it. So if we can, right, Katz, I'm going to see if he shows up. By practicing this and putting some effort into it beforehand, then again, hopefully it doesn't knock us off track too much. If at all, we can keep progressing forward. We can build some positive consistency, some positive self-esteem, some positive self-awareness that we can use in future areas of our life, whatever that happens to be. Nice, yeah. Katz is going to create a routine. Natty says her routine is wake up, blur, go to bed. It's kind of like my background, but not quite what we're looking for, Natty. But it's a routine, I guess. That's a start somewhere. We can kind of work on that as we go through. So the next tip, thinking of kind of how the weekend goes, a lot of people will say, I'm going to gain an extra hour of sleep. Yes, I so need this extra hour of sleep to catch up, to get rested, to do some good recovery that I need to. We're going to work on. Sorry, guys. We're going to get some good routines in again. Get some things set up for us. But what a lot of us do, and I've been guilty of this myself, is think, oh, I get an extra hour this weekend. I can stay up an hour later. because I have an extra hour. That's one way to look at it. And if you want to do that, then again, that's your prerogative. What I'm thinking of and what I've been noticing, it's okay, cats, you're fine. Vacuuming is a good workout. And as you're right, vacuuming is good for us. Good physical activity to do around the house. Vacuuming, gardening, dusting, any of that stuff is good for us too. And it's good to keep your house clean. So it's win-win. But keep in mind this weekend, if you're looking to bank that extra hour of sleep, which a lot of us are, keep in mind that they typically say our sleep cycle is about an hour and a half. So thinking an hour and a half is a full cycle, if you're getting an extra hour of sleep, that could be why maybe you wake up and think, oh, I had an extra hour. Why am I so groggy? Why do I feel so sluggish? It could be because you're actually catching up on maybe the sleep that you owe yourself. Because we do incur a bit of a sleep debt if we're not getting our required sleep every night. But it could be also because you're waking up in the middle or towards the end of a sleep cycle. And you didn't finish that kind of rapid eye movement, that deep sleep that we all need to go through that cycle. So my next tip is if you're going to take advantage of the extra hour in terms of sleep, maybe make it an hour and a half. Go ahead, take that extra 30 minutes. Or go to bed maybe 30 minutes earlier. Think of that extra hour, adding that little 30-minute chunk on there to wake up at the end of that sleep cycle before the next one starts. So then you will feel more alert and more energetic. So I think for a lot of us that does happen. And I'm just thinking back and thinking of what we're going to talk about tonight. It just popped up to me that, a lot of us say, oh, I had an extra hour of sleep, but I'm still so sleepy and groggy and tired. It's probably because we didn't finish that last sleep cycle. We woke up in between. And again, if we don't finish that, we wake up groggy, we didn't get through that, that's going to have effects on us through the day. That's where we're going to feel sluggish and not so clear-headed. And that's where we're going to maybe not make great decisions in terms of what food we put in our body or what we're going to do or what we're drinking and that sort of thing. So again, look at that. Think of that. Hopefully you're sort of planning your nightly sleep in terms of those 1.5 hour cycles and waking up towards the end of those. So your bedtime and your wake up time should, again, have a few 1.5 hour cycles in it. So you're waking up 1.5, 3 hours, 4.5, that sort of thing, 6. You're looking at one of those alternatives. So they say 8 hours is good, but is that at the end of a sleep cycle? Do we need to maybe go 7.5 or 8.5 to kind of push that forward? Depends how long it takes you to fall asleep as well. All these different factors you have to look at. So long story short, again, if you're looking to take advantage of that hour sleep-wise, maybe bank in an hour and a half, go to bed a little earlier, or again, maybe set your alarm a half hour later just for this day, again, just to wake up at the end of that cycle. And then the next day, Monday night, set the alarm for their usual time, and again, back on track, because you'll be regular bedtime again, and you'll have a regular amount of sleep during the night for you. So Sunday night only, or I guess Saturday night into Sunday, when the time changes. Again, take a look at that. Look at your sleep patterns. Look at your sleep routine. How often do you sleep through the night? And if you're going to get an extra hour, make it an extra hour and a half if you can to work through that. And then again, right back to normal on Sunday night into Monday, because again, we're back on regular time, regular amount of sleep through the night. So I think that'll be a big factor, something I'm going to be more aware of this time, and trying to take advantage of the extra hour with sleep rather than staying up an extra hour later like I have in the past. And again, making sure to again factor in that 30 minutes to be at the end of your sleep cycle, sort of thing. So again, just a few tips here to keep in mind. Kimmy, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, naps. Naps are good. Cat naps. We're talking about naps, cat, and of course, cats brought it up with that. So love naps are supposed to be good for you. Again, 20 minutes, 5 minutes. Usually, again, they say, 20, 30 minutes. Just a quick rest. So I think it's about getting a quick sleep, Natty. So Natty mentioned, I'd have to look at this, 20-minute nap, but your sleep cycles are 90 minutes. So I think it's not a deep sleep. And the idea is not to get into much of a deep sleep, but more of just a rest. So it's that kind of initial before you get into that really deep sleep cycle. Then you can, again, it's just enough to refresh you. That's kind of the part of the nap. So I believe that's why they recommend 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes or so, and that's about it. I find if I try to nap, it takes me 20 to 30 minutes to fall asleep. So I don't get the sleep part of it. But even if you don't, that rest, they say, is still beneficial for you. You're relaxing the body, hopefully relaxing the mind. You're taking a break from things. That still does help things recharge and refresh a little bit. So resting, even if you're not napping or asleep, then that still does recharge and refresh you as well. And it's all about different people. Some of you in the chat here say you can't nap. Some say you nap for 5 minutes. Some people can lean up against the wall and close their eyes and sleep for a few minutes and be fine. It's a bit of an art. It seems to be a bit of a skill people have to acquire and get used to. And again, kind of make it part of a routine where you're used to taking a nap every couple days or every day, whatever the case may be. You get into that routine of it, and then again, your body catches on, and you kind of almost look for it every day to get that little recharge and that refresh. Yeah, no, it's Chico says, what about a 2-hour nap? Asking for a friend. If your friend needs a 2-hour nap, Chico, then they could take a 2-hour nap. Just remember your hour and a half sleep cycles. So you might want to go an hour and a half instead of 2, maybe, to feel refreshed. Or sorry, your friend maybe wants to go an hour and a half instead of 2, so they wake up feeling refreshed and not so groggy because they woke up as another sleep cycle kind of begins. Yeah, Natty, it is more about the rest. That's kind of what the nap is. But that's at least the minimal. If you're not getting the sleep, you're resting. Yeah, it's kind of like a recharge. We shut the brain. We minimize what the brain's kind of doing. We let the body rest for a bit. We can take some breaths in. We de-stress a little bit. We rest. We recharge. And then that's what a nap's supposed to be. It's like when you plug your phone in for a bit, get that quick charge, so it'll last a little bit longer. That's kind of the idea. It's a quick charge, a reset to get us going. Rest those eyes, Kat says. That's right, you got it. Yeah, and Kimmy says she can't nap, has to be at least an hour. Again, we're all a little bit different in what works. Usually when I try to nap, I can't. And when I am trying to not nap, I do. It seems to be how it works for me. Yeah, Kat says YouTube, there's some different things on YouTube where they play white noise, or there's meditations or sleep stories and things like that on YouTube. We've been using Calm here at the house, and they have a lot of different sleep stories. So it's like almost like a bedtime story, but it's like an adventure that they can kind of take you through. There's kids ones, there's adult ones. LeBron James does one. There's a few different actors that do one. I think there's a Star Trek one as well. A few different themes like that you can look into and see. Sometimes those will help you at night, and even just to have a nap, or just to sit and listen. Maybe it's meditating for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, controlling your breath, clearing your mind for a little bit. That's restful. That's recharging. If that's what works for you during the day, then maybe that's your version of a napping or a recharge. Maybe it's not the sleeping aspect. Maybe it's just taking a few minutes for yourself, which is so important. Yeah, your body's healing. That's right, Nats. If you're taking time off and you're slowing down a little bit, then the body is healing. The brain's healing. It's regenerating a little bit, and that's what a nap would be, or a rest, or a sit. Again, just maybe structure them so you're not not 2-3 hours doing something. Maybe it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes where you set an alarm, and then don't stress about it. The same as if you're not sleeping at night. If you stress about it, you won't sleep because your mind starts to go. So if you don't sleep when you're trying to nap, it's okay. Just go with it. If that's what you're doing, if you get the rest, you get the rest, and that's great too. That's right, I do. And I do mod at my desk after I mod. Sometimes while I'm modding, it happens. But yeah, Calm. I've used Headspace before too to meditate, and they have. I see some more things even on Instagram and a few different. Even YouTube now, they have a channel where they show some clips and different things you can use. So lots of resources out there to help you nap or rest or meditate. Again, whatever you feel you would benefit more from, or whatever fits your personality and style better. Maybe you try a few things and then work around to what works best for you. Maybe it depends on the situation. Maybe you can't always nap during the day because of work or where you are, but maybe you can close your eyes for a few minutes and take a few breaths just to reset and let things control then. So again, lots of options out there. Sometimes we get too caught up on the black and white of this is what we're supposed to do, when there's so many other so many options out there, and everyone's a little bit different. So what I try to do is take a little bit from this person and that person and this book and this podcast, and then I make it work for me, whatever that happens to be. Yeah, exactly. Keys to just lay there, for sure. Just lay, just relax. Even through the weekend, if you find your sleep is off a bit because of the time change and what's going on, just lay there, rest, relax. If you're having trouble sleeping at night, just lay there, rest and relax. Maybe get up, do some journaling or something, come back. Natty says she listens to nature sounds. Yeah, that's a big one too. Nature sounds, white lights. Nice one, Chico. Yeah, and again, it's finding what works best for you. Some people don't like the white noises. Some people don't like nature sounds. Some people can't listen to raindrops because then they have to go to the bathroom. Again, it's whatever works for you, and whatever is going to help you stay on track, which is kind of what the goal was of this episode, was just to stay on track as best we can with our goals, with our routines, so that, again, we can see the progress we're looking for and that we've come to expect from ourselves. So again, just to review a little, think of the time you're in, not what time it was when the time changes this weekend. Try not to do that math so much. Good practice to do our math, but then again, it confuses us. And our body's like, are we in this time zone? Are we in this other time zone? Just be present, be where you are. Whatever your phone or watch or clock on the wall, make sure you change them. And your VCR shouldn't blink 12 all the time. Set that. Change your clocks that need to be, and then just think of what time zone you're in. Stay with your routines, your nutrition, hydration, sleep, like we talked about, your exercise routines, your whatever routine, your work routines, your personal development, professional development routines, whatever goals you're working on, keep those systems in place, keep those routines going. So again, it creates that normalcy feeling, so we don't get so bogged down by the feeling and the thoughts of, oh geez, it's a different hour than what it usually is, and it keeps you into that present mindset. Right, Cats. I have a VCR too. It's I have a combo DVD VCR, so I can still watch my videos. VCRs, we'll do a PatFacts about it for those of you who don't know what a VCR is. We'll do maybe a bonus episode one day. I'll show you some video. I probably have one here somewhere. Some video cassettes, and we'll go through. You're welcome, Cats, for the reminder. So stay on routine. And again, think of that sleep. If you're going to try to gain from the extra hour of sleep that we get overnight, Saturday into Sunday, think of hour-and-a-half blocks. Our sleep cycles are 90 minutes, hour and a half. So maybe bump your bedtime or your wake up time, maybe add a half an hour onto that, because you'll gain an extra hour overnight. So to finish a sleep cycle, so you wake up feeling alert and refreshed. So again, you can stay on your routine, you can have a normal day, you can work out, you can stay on track with your food and your hydration, because you wake up feeling more alert. So we start the day off on the better foot, so we feel better. So again, we're more likely to make better choices for us, which will lead into the next day and the next day. So hopefully that gives you a few ideas to get you through the time change. Again, it is 1 hour. Which is the better foot, right or left? Kat says it depends on the person. If you're whatever your lead leg is, that would be your better foot. That's one you want to get off on the next day. That's what you want to go through. Yeah, that's right, Kimmy. That's right. Kimmy's going to take advantage of the extra hour, like I said, by staying up later. She's staying up till 8:30 Saturday night, so she can take advantage of that extra hour. She's going to use it that way. That's right, Kimmy. You're going to get up to 8:30. Wow. It's going to be a great night for you. Lots of extra fun. So again, hopefully those are some tips to help you get through. Again, just do your best. Make sure you're progressing forward and doing that. Party at Kimmy's. That's right. Doing your best to stay on track, stay on point. Sorry, guys. And make sure you're putting yourself first, like you deserve to, and work through some of these systems and use this as a learning curve, as a way to learn about you, what works. when there's time changes, when there's an obstacle coming up, because again, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be things that are planned and unexpected that we'll have to deal with over the next few months, let alone hitting into 23. Life's going to hand us stuff that we have to deal with. We can take something from this and gain experience on what's working for us, looking at whether we want to use the extra hour for something or get an extra hour and a half sleep from the time change. Do we want to use that? Do we go an hour and a half of our sleep to try to see if we feel a little better? We can play around with some of those things and see how we feel. So that, again, you'll know when you're traveling or when the spring ahead time comes. If we fall back again next year, there's talk about trying to get rid of this, if we do it or not. If it sticks in, again, the more you go through it and learn from it about yourself, you can apply that to other areas. And that's the goal. So then we have those systems in place so we feel confident, we feel good about ourselves, and we can handle the things that life hands us. And that's what we want to do. That's being operationally fit to fight the daily battles that life hands us. This is a step in that, of becoming even more operationally fit than you already are. So that's it for tonight, gang. I see our chat's kind of losing it, so we better go. Again, hopefully these tips work for you. Again, let me know. Come back to the video, make a comment in the chats, send me a DM. Tune in next week to PatFacts, and we're gonna wrap up our gratitude challenge that we started back in October. If you didn't join us, that's okay. Even through the next week, once a day, think of the 3 things you're most grateful for, and why are you grateful for them? Why do you think they came up as top of mind when you want to express gratitude? And we're going to talk about how we've been feeling with sharing our gratitude next week and some benefits of that, but also come back and let us know how you handled the time change. Coming off of a Halloween weekend, maybe you're up late Monday night doing some Halloween stuff, or you were out, you were out on Saturday night, maybe at Breakfast Club. Some of you were out, I know, up late. So now you've got a week to kind of recover from that and then head into the time change. So come back and join us and let us know what of these strategies you put in play and how it worked or didn't work, or what you would do differently next time. Let's help each other grow and evolve. That's it for tonight, gang. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate the support and you guys tuning in. If you're on Twitch, stay tuned. We're gonna raid out. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, same time, same bat channel. Again, talking about gratitude. And remember, always make yourself the priority you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Stay safe and take care, guys.